Hi, welcome to this episode of HuntFlorida TV. On this episode, we're going to be talking about other things that landowners can do besides food plots and besides, having feeders. Other options that you can do to draw and keep deer and turkey on your property. And so we're going to be talking about planting some trees today. The first thing you need to do is kind of look at your property and kind of take note of what you already have. And look at the surrounding land and see what's already there on the landscape, and try to plant things where you can offer wildlife something different. And also, it can be a problem if you have actually too many oaks or too many fruit trees on your property or in the area, because it gets hard to pattern the deer. I'd like to encourage you, if you're going to plant some trees, to plant native trees. Look at planting native oaks or native fruit trees, which will create a permanent and low maintenance food plot, if you will, for your deer and turkeys. And the best time to plant is in the wintertime, between December and February, when the trees are dormant. As you can see, these are deciduous trees. They're not evergreen, and you can see they don't have any leaves on them. So now's the best time to plant them. So we're going to show you how to do it. Hard mast is most important for deer and turkeys in the fall and winter. Mast trees include oaks, such as this white oak, chestnuts, which this is a native chinquapin, which is in the chestnut family, hickory, and also beech. It's good that you plant trees so that you'll have a diversity of both red and white oaks for consistent food sources. I've got a few live oak trees out here, which is in the red oak family. That's why I chose this white oak tree. If you happen to have any runner oaks, which are those low-hanging bushes with acorns on them, definitely leave them. Deer love them, so do turkey. So definitely make sure, if you have those on your property, to leave those intact. When choosing a good place to plant your trees, try to find an area that's, where you got a little opening in between some trees. And all three of these trees that I chose, they all can either take full sunlight to partial sunlight. And if you've got to choose between them getting morning sun or afternoon sun, the afternoon sun's better. It's going to give them better sunlight. So I'm choosing a spot right here where it's going to get pretty good afternoon sun. And you want to also choose an area that's going to drain fairly well. So you want to dig your hole twice as wide as your pot is. Another mistake a lot of people often make when they're planting trees is they dig the hole too deep and they plant the tree too low. What you want to do is you want to reach down with your fingers, pull this dirt away, and find that first root, that first top root that's coming off of the trunk of the tree, and you want that to be parallel, to be level, and flush with your hole right there. So we got it good right there, and we're just gonna backfill the hole with the loose dirt that we already dug out. And like I was saying, this is a form of a native chestnut, if you will. It's kind of in that family. It's called a chinquapin. It'll grow 20 to 30 feet, and it produces nuts within 5 years. So I should be able to reap the benefit, and of course the deer, within 5 years of planting this. The nuts are kind of small. They're smaller than chestnuts, but the deer and turkey really like them. I've got another area right here that's in the open. It's getting some sunlight, as you can see, and it's going to drain well. The water's flowing this way. I didn't plant it too deep. Got it just right. This is a white oak tree. Deer and turkey love white oaks because of the huge acorns that they produce. Also, white oak acorns have less tannic acid, which means the acorns are less bitter. So that's why deer and turkey prefer acorns from a white oak tree, if possible. This tree can grow up to 80 feet tall, so I definitely have a spot where it can get tall like that. This is going to take about 25 years. So it's safe to say that I'll be a senior citizen by the time this tree is old enough, mature enough to drop some acorns and start actually feeding wildlife. But this is something I'm planning for the future, so that's a good thing. Soft mast or fruit trees include things like pears, crab apples, plums, and persimmons like this. I actually chose this persimmon. This is an Ormond variety. It's also known as the Christmas tree persimmon, because most persimmons drop their fruit around October, that time, the early fall, but this one actually holds on later and doesn't drop until December and even January. So that's why I wanted to choose this one, so that it would be, and I got my tree stand right over there, so it's going to be good. Soft mast food sources are very important to deer and turkey, mainly in the summertime. But this one is going to be important in the dead of winter. As you saw, this persimmon tree was a lot bigger in size than those other two, than those hardwoods that I planted. So this is a 2-year-old tree, so I wouldn't be surprised if it started putting out persimmons, fruit next year, but definitely the year after that. So this thing's gonna start working for me right away. The last thing I'm gonna do, or the last couple things I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna go ahead and stake where I've got these trees, put some flagging tape on them, just so when I come back here next year and probably mow, I don't want to run over them. And as you know, in Florida, the jungle will grow back over the spring and summertime in a big way. So you want to water them in good and then come back. Like I'm going to water all 3 trees, come back and probably water them again. Well, thank you for joining into HuntFlorida TV, and I hope you maybe got some ideas on what you can do to better the habitat for your animals on your property and better your hunting. One more thing, the nursery that I bought the trees at said to hold off on fertilizing them right away, but I will probably come back in about a month and I will apply some fertilizer. So I wanted to let you know that. Also, for this tree especially, it's got a really tall, limbless trunk right here. I'm probably going to come back and put some of that loam around it so that bucks won't ruin my tree, by raking their antlers on it. So by making a rub on it. So that's another thing I'm going to do, and that's about it. So thank you for tuning in. I'm Tony Young. We'll see you next time.